Can you eat an 8-year-old ham? So this is 8 years old today. And I'm going to open it up and see if we can taste it, see what it's like, see if it's gone off, check the dryness of it, and, you know, see if it's any good. So, check that that's all screwed in nice and tight. We don't want that going anywhere. We're going to have to use quite a sturdy knife on this. Right. First thing I need to do is I need to push this down onto this spike. Okay, let's make some cuts into this. So, right, we need to take this skin off first of all. Okay, that went in quite nice and easily, so let's hope we can take this skin off. Here we go. I might go back a bit further actually, which is helpful. Okay. Oh, God, tell you, it smells like an old cheese. That is beautiful. Okay, that's enough of my old cheese anecdotes. Wow, the smell, if only I could describe it. The only way I can describe the smell is like a really old, mature cheese. Oh, it's absolutely stunning. It's quite hard. Obviously, the top layer is going to be quite hard. Now I've got skin all down the back here. Let me move the camera so you can see me removing that. Okay, so I'm going to get this separated from the meat. As best we can. Get your hand in, pare that away, then we'll take it another centimetre down. Oh, that went down quite easily, that's good. Okay, a little bit further. Okay, I think that should just about do it. And what we do is if we bend the skin down like so, we can cut a swathe off that and then we're left with an exposed area. That fat's very dark. Just can't get over the smell. It's absolutely amazing. It is like a really, really old, funky blue cheese. Just look at that fat, nice and pink. A lot of this fat has oxidized even under the skin, so it's gone this sort of browny colour. I mean, that's just a sort of symptom of its age, really. You know, it's 8 years old. Normally hams are cured for sort of 3-4 years maximum. I just decided to take this just a little bit further. A little bit further, 8 years, come along. That is ridiculous, isn't it? Right, what we'll do is we'll take some slices of the actual meat and we'll get them down to a point where we can potentially start taking some actual slices. So that's looking pretty promising. So this is really just about getting it set up so that we're ready to take the actual thin slices. I mean, it is incredibly dry. Oh, do you know what? You don't throw these away. You put those in soups and stocks and you extract all that beautiful flavour out of there. So this will not be thrown away. Oh, nice ham and pea soup or something like that. Wow, it's still quite tough. I mean, that's unsurprising. Here, let's try a little bit of that, shall we? Oh my goodness. That really, really is a strong flavour. So yeah, this is definitely not being chucked. And because of the such low water content in this, you can freeze these, stick them in a vacuum bag, freeze that whenever you want to make some stock and some soup. That will be ready for you. So I'll just take a little bit more of this. I mean, it really is dry. That's why I'm using the big knife. I don't think I'll try with my actual carving knife to see if I can get some wafer thin slices. There we go. Let me try that. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Right, let me put you back where you were and we'll take a few more slices. Okay. So let's take a really nice thin slice. So you can see these are really, really thin. Incredibly thin. But I'll stick some on the plate. See how we get on. Now I'm gonna revert to my tweezers. This really, really is like dry. So I'm gonna take little slices of this. They don't have to be very big. These are sort of like pork jerky, really. 8-year-old pork jerky. 8-year matured pork jerky. What a thing. God, this is so dry. It's like shavings. Amazing. Oh, goodness me. I'm being so controlled with the knife because I obviously don't want to fly it towards me, but if I push it away from me, the stand moves on the work surface, so it's hands out the way. Look at this, I mean, it's just coming off. I think when we get down into the heart of this, it will soften a little bit. I'm in no hurry to do that because you know, these are absolutely delicate bits of ham. Oh goodness me, this is a real kind of like a luxury thing. I'm certainly going to be bagging some of this up and freezing it down so that I've got something for when I go walking in the summer. What a lovely trail food this will make, eh? God dear. What you eating, mate? 8-year-old ham. Yeah. Try a bit. Oh, it's lovely. There we go. Let's take some of these bits. Obviously, when you cut through, say, a Spanish jamon ibérico de bellota, you will have a very soft ham. It's obviously not dried for as long as this. I mean, some of the best are sort of 3 years, 4 years old, but this is double that age. You know, this is really old. I think there's a 6-year-old one. I'm not 100% certain. Certainly the ones I've tried, the higher end ones are sort of in the 3s and 4-year-old. But they are incredibly expensive. So I'll just get a little plate of this and then I'll cast the camera over and show you the plate that I've created. Wow, I mean these are so dry, but very, very stable, very stable. I mean, to last 8 years is I think a bit of an achievement, don't you think? Let us know what you think in the comments. If you've ever matured a ham for anything like this length of time, I'd be really interested to hear how yours turned out. Oh, by the way, this is unsmoked. It's worth saying that it is unsmoked. Oh my goodness me. I can't believe it. Listen, I'm going to hit this with the back of the knife. Just to give you an idea of how dry it is. So that's quite soft at the back because that's where you had the skin, so that'll protect it from evaporating. But at the front here, this is the exposed face. It's like, it is literally solid. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. I just can't, there are words, no words to describe the beautiful aroma coming from this, other than funky. I think funky does it. Funky ham, oh yes. Would you like to try some of my funky ham? I bet you would. So basically this was cured in salt. So let me take you through the whole process for making this. So it was cured in a salt box, completely covered over for 28 days. It came out of the salt, it was rinsed under cold running water, patted dry and stuck in an air dryer for around about 3 months, just to let it dry. And then what I did is I applied a lard facing. So this here is lard on the surface. If I scrape it back, you'll see it. Put it up to the camera there. So that's lard. And then what I did, and that basically, so that lard coating on the surface, in Italy they call it sugna, and it's traditionally it's like a flour and lard paste, sometimes encrusted with pepper, that they smear on the surface, and it arrests the drying process. It retards it quite dramatically and it stops it from drying out, and therefore it allows all the enzymes inside the meat to start to work their magic and create the character of the ham, to give it that unique flavour that you get with these types of aged hams. And on top of that, I placed basically some parchment paper, and all that did really was to give me the opportunity to be able to handle this piece of meat without getting lard all over my hands, and move it around if I needed to give it a clean occasionally. I didn't get all that fat on my hands. So that's basically why the paper's on there. It doesn't do anything other than keep me from getting greasy. But that's it. That's the curing process. Very, very simple. I think I used a little bit of Prague too in the curing of this, but the way I calculated the Prague too, it was added to the salt. But what I did first was take a little bit of salt, probably around about half a pound, or about sort of 200, 400 grams, something like that, and mix the Prague powder with it. Now, obviously, to calculate the Prague powder, I estimated this. So when this was cured, it was around about 6.2 kilos. And obviously, being 6.2 kilos, I want to take off some bone weight off that. And once you take the bone weight off there, what you're left with is the calculation for your Prague powder, and it's 2.5 grams of Prague powder per kilo. Now I think I took about 1.2 kilos of bone weight off this, so I was left with about 5 kilos of meat weight, and I used that to calculate my 2.5 grams of Prague powder, added that to the salt, and then applied that directly to the surface of the ham, and then just covered the rest of the ham over with salt, let it run to do its cure. And then it's a matter of letting it do its thing in a cool, dark place, and then once it's finished its cure, I took it out of the cure and let it dry in my dry ager. Now if you don't have a dry ager, it's not a problem. If you live in a hot climate, it is a bit of a problem, because if you don't have a dry ager and you live in a hot climate, then you're going to have difficulty maintaining the conditions that these really like. And typically they like the conditions that are nice and cool, so around about sort of 12 to 15 degrees Celsius, and a humidity that's not too dry. So don't worry too much about the humidity. Certainly if you do this in winter and you get a humidity of around about 40 or 50%, it is a bit low, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Generally in the colder months we tend to have dry winters here, and the humidity does drop down to around about 40-50%. Obviously a colder air mass has less ability to hold water vapor in it, so it tends to be drier anyway in winter. But once it's dried out on the surface and you apply the lard, it retards that drying process and it tends to dry a lot slower. So you should really weigh it every so often just to see how the weight's dropping off, and manage and monitor it occasionally. I mean, I did have some in my loft in my garage a couple of years ago that was eaten by squirrels. I should have really wondered what was going on, because there were some incredibly fat squirrels running around the garden. And I just wondered why are these squirrels so fat? And when I was digging around upstairs in the loft and looking at my hams, I realised that they'd eaten two 5-year-old hams. Greedy little so-and-sos. Anyway, squirrels, eh? Goodness me. Wow, this ham is absolutely stunning. 8 years old, cured for 28 days, dried for 7 years, 11 months. What a wonderful piece of meat. I mean, it's as dry as anything, but it's got all the taste you'd expect. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give us a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel, and leave us your comments. Let us know what you think. It's always good to hear what you've got to say. In the meantime, folks, take care of yourselves, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye now.